Hey guys, welcome back to the Esoteric Coaching Channel. My name is Kayvon. I am your host, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the amazing powers of the compound effect and how you can use it to see incredible results in your lives over time. So if you're ready to learn about this special power, let's go. Welcome back, guys. Make sure to hit that like button, leave me a comment. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe, and let's go. So the compound effect was an idea that was introduced to me by Darren Hardy in his book, The Compound Effect. And it had a profound effect on my life. It changed the way I thought about the way I do things on a daily basis, and it gave me a more of a long-term vision versus a short-term approach. You see, how compounding works is it builds up very slowly over time. So I'm going to use a retirement fund as an example. So when you invest in the very beginning, it's not going to seem like very much. It doesn't seem like anything's working. Even after 3 years of investing, you look at your account, you're like, really, I thought I'd have so much more. But the power of compounding is that once you keep going, you keep doing that task over and over and over, you invest that little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, and you keep doing it, it starts to snowball. And once it catches traction, 10 years down the road, and it starts going up, it goes like this. It's this line that kind of goes in, kind of slowly goes up, and once it catches that little up, it just goes. It just zooms off. For instance, Warren Buffett, I believe he wasn't a billionaire until he made his mid-50s. And then 10, 20 years later, he was one of the richest men in the world. So you got to see that once you start to get that traction, it's going to take off. And it's the same thing with everyday life. So small tasks that we might do or might not do can become our greatest assets or our greatest reasons for defeats later on in life. For instance, for an example, we have two people, right? One person decides to cut off one soda or 100 calories a day. The other person decides to add 100 calories a day to their diet for the next 5 years. Now in the first year, no big changes really happening, right? The person who cut out 100 calories doesn't really seem like he lost that much weight. The person who ate 100 calories extra doesn't really feel like they gained that much weight. They pretty much are still the same. Even 3 years later, there's not too much a difference. But when you get to 5 years, the person who's been cutting out 100 calories a day has now lost about 20 pounds. Whereas the person who's been adding it has gained about 20 pounds. And all it took was one small thing, just drinking one soda or cutting off one piece of food. So the compound effect can have an amazing effect on your life over time. So what we do on a daily basis really matters. So if you read every single day, and you've been doing it for 2 years, you're like, wow, I've read like 60, 70 books in the past 2 years, and it hasn't really changed my life the way I thought it would. Well, give it more time. Compounding is one of those things that it has to be long term. You need to be in it for the long haul. You need to be in it for 10 to 15 years because that's when things multiply. When you read every single day for 5 years, that knowledge is just stacking upon each other. Every time you read a new book, it helps you learn more, helps you learn more verbiage, helps you be able to read faster, helps you to learn faster, retain more information. So by the time you get to 5 years, when you read a book, you absorb so much more out of that book than you would have 5 years ago. And all that information that you have just seems to seep out of you. And it's the same thing if you don't decide to read for like 30 minutes a day. 5 years from now, your knowledge hasn't stacked. So it's compounding negatively. So you're not learning as fast. You're not retaining information as better. You're not really keeping up with your business. You're not doing all these things. So it's all about doing small things consistently over time. And a lot of people decide to go in and things and burn out. And that's what the compound effect kind of taught me not to do. It's like, you don't want to exercise 12, 14 days in a row for 5 hours a day and then end it. That's not as good as doing it 3 days a week for 8 weeks. It's not as good as doing it 3 days a week consistently for 2 years rather than 6 months as hard as I can. The thing is consistency, self-discipline, and this desire to keep doing it every single day, every single week, every single month, that is what's gonna pay off over time. So I know this concept is still a little bit probably hard to grasp. I think the best thing that you could do if you're interested in this concept is to go and buy Darren Hardy's book, Compound Effect. So I will leave a link to this book in my description if you'd like to go buy it. So go check it out. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you got some type of information out of this video, make sure to leave a like. Leave me a comment and tell me what you think about these video series. What else do you want to learn about? And if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name is Kayvon, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.